The thumbnail on this one is driving me nuts. What is Josh singing? How much is Josh singing? But seriously, 21 Pilots has a way of creating these intensely unique experiences out of each performance. So I am excited to see what comes of this one at the American Music Awards.
When I see the devil's eyes, I look away and smile while you found me. 'Cause then I'll know you're also there.
Oh, man.
'Cause proof is in the adversary. You found me.
Seriously, putting themselves in the atmosphere of the music video while tying that into the little kid videos. Wow. Nice touch.
A drive-by etched in the surface as evidence. I left there on purpose, a sad lay on the surface. Can you find me when I see the devil's eyes?
The way that they choreograph and make the most out of just having two people already, it's so cool. They could have just had Josh with a rack of keyboards, but instead, no, he's in the midst, sitting casually on the floor, manipulating that keyboard, and then he gets up to join Tyler. There's a mic there.
Travels down my spine. You found me.
Tyler's subtle rhythmic plays on the melody already. Listen to this.
Current travels down my spine. You found me.
He swung on the keyboard a little bit, swung with his vocals. It's very playful, even in this down section. This is a foreshadowing of what they'll probably do later, which is draw from other areas of their style into this live performance that you wouldn't necessarily expect. And you get little hints of that. That's why they're such great performers and why we sort of hang on every note, what they play and what they sing.
Down my spine, you found me.
Okay.
Etched in the surface as evidence. I left there on purpose, a sad laying on the surface. Can you find me? I dug my heels into the gravel as evidence.
We got to listen to that again. And just look at the engagement between the two of them when Josh starts singing. Yeah, you can see Tyler look over at Josh, and they're maybe looking at the screens, looking around a little bit. But there's this on again, off again sort of gaze into each other's eyes. I can't pretend to know what they're thinking, but it seems like this kind of emotional moment. Their interaction is part of what makes their performances so awesome. Such mutual respect and friendship. It's also neat, the different motions that are created with Josh's harmony. So right there, Tyler's going up, Josh is going down. Sometimes they're on unisons, sometimes they're traveling together. It's another one of those very smart arranging things. We're not going for tight Nashville-style harmonies that are, accurate. It's almost like they're both singing a lead, but you can see with their eye contact, and of course we know the melody is Tyler's, but the way that Josh's voice is supporting Tyler's it's not as much of a harmony part as it is a background vocal that is close to a co-lead for this section. Love that. And you can hear Tyler diverting from the melody just a little bit as well, giving some of those to Josh. Wow. And then the harmony roll tightens up when you need it to. Can you was unison, and then Josh went down, Tyler went up. Again, they totally change sets. They don't totally change sets, but yeah, grabs the bass. I bet Josh is going to the drums. Yeah. Oh, look at the, what is that? Like, you killed it, Josh? Like, great job, man. He's wiping his eyes. Yeah. Oh, man. They bring you into the experience. Yeah. The blurred vision thing that's happening in light of the music video that we've seen. Again, they're putting themselves in that environment while also extending to the live environment. So that little sing yell that he did just before he engaged, that's not only just cool freedom, but it's also strategic. He is testing he's moving to a different mic, right? So he's testing his monitors, he's interacting with the audience a little bit, he's getting a feel for his voice in this next section, sort of this preparatory, tiny mini warm-up for what he's about to deliver, veiled in showmanship. A little fry at the very beginning of Etched. Evidence. Starts hard, ends on the one word in head voice through vibrato. His dynamics, even as he gets more intense, the dynamics increase, not just the loudness. That's important to note. With any great live performer, we, I think, perceive, if we're not listening carefully, that, oh, they're getting more intense, they must just be getting louder. No, they're actually dialing up the contrast, and this is what we already see Tyler doing here. Laying on the surface. Manipulating the melody so he can continue to really lean in and come back out. Little bit of distortion off of with that H. Just a little bit. He's using that H to get into distortion. Feel that out in your voice. And then right as you land in that chest voice, choose to make it a partial engagement. So you get a little bit of volatility and variability. And then instantaneously compress into that. That sort of sound. Notice there's also an H there. So that way you generate a little bit of distortion from lightness. Hips. You hear it just a little bit. If you'd like more help working with your voice in these kind of quirky ways, like we hear Tyler always doing, but it's especially fascinating when we get to see him do these things live. If you'd like more help, click that link below in the pinned comment or video description and join my free course. I'll help you work with your voice in this playful way so that you can do things with your voice you never thought possible. Put a little bit of H there on as evidence, and then backed way off. Ooh, okay. Okay, let's go back and talk about the many, many cool things. So, yo, he slanted that, yo too for yo too, but he added what we don't really hear, but if you know what you're listening for, you can kind of hear it. He used the same method that I talked about when he descended from that H into his chest voice. He just did it faster. Yo, 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 compressing into the broken sound brought on by the H. Yo, yo. But then we think the note. Yo, 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 yo. There's all sorts of ways you can play with those balances. He, of course, has developed this sensation awareness so he can add just enough compression, just enough volatility, and just enough air, fry, over that sound to make it work like he wants it to. Yeah, for you to unravel. Yes. And I love here, he's just given himself, he's spent a bit more vocal budget on the yo thing, and then he deflates the melody a bit. This is vocal budgeting at its best because it's a cool melodic diversion anyway. We want to hear things that are sort of new and improvised. Same thing there, except for he's got a hard onset. So, etched, be real squeaky with it and like, etched, etched, etched. Then, rather than having an H, let that onset and that witchy bratty, etched, etched, sort of break apart. You hear all the throat in the etched in the surface. It's a very loose, and I say throat, I don't mean throat tension. I just mean, that's false chords. That's, yeah! It's that sort of thing happening, but he's relaxed into it with that hard onset. A track path etched in the surface. Oh, oh. Oh, he stays up there. Surface! So he has a little bit of that witchy bratty thing. It's not surface! It's not heavy there. It's in the surface. It's light. I like how he stayed low. He's sort of feeling out his belt right there. That sounded very John Foreman, very Switchfoot. Meh! Just the way he approached his voice and nasaled it up a little there. That was cool. Right here. Breath. And then meh, meh. How he had that little Foreman does that a lot. So pointed belt. It's no longer meh, meh, meh. It's more of this pointed meh. Right up front there. You feel it between the eyes. Meh. Very dynamic in how he's placing. So free and so relaxed. He can be so free and so relaxed because of all the arcing and all the variety he's introducing here. It's not simply a matter of him grabbing the bass and getting more and more and more powerful. There's nuance. Let's talk about that. He goes from this belted posture, meh, super sharp. And then as he goes up, you can hear him bringing that resonance back before he goes into the distortion. Meh, meh. It's not meh. It's not that. It's meh, lighter. And then he throws it back just a little bit more. And rather than adding more to the sound, he adds just a little bit less to the sound. Pointed, heavy. Lightens first. I'm really exaggerating that to make a point. May. Step one, belt. May. Lighter, lighter, lighter. Hey, okay, I could do this all day. Light, light, and rangy and loose. And then, because it's loose and rangy and a little bit witchier, we then compress into that. While bringing the resonance back more. It's this constant dance of feeling out where your voice wants to go in light of how you're placing it and the note choices you're making. And then once you listen to your voice and listen to your body on a sensational level, then you can press into certain aspects of that sensation and lean away from other aspects. And that's how he's triggering these amazingly nuanced distortions out of clean notes. And it's so fun to listen to. He draws you in. He makes you want that scream, right? He's not just screaming the whole time. It's not coming out of nowhere. He builds to it. The arranging that he does with his voice and the way that the music comes around it, he's making you ask for it. Come on, let's do it. There's this sense of anticipation, especially when you are watching him live, when you're watching these guys live. It is absolutely amazing and cool. The coolest thing ever. Gosh, you can hear him tighten up into that compression before he lets it be volatile, like fully more volatile. That sounds a little Cornelian, right? We got the yeah. We got that sound, yeah, and then he lets it break a little bit more, yeah, like that, yeah. What I just did there, it's compression over the mix, yeah, and then letting it break after that, yeah. It's that. But when we compress more into it, yeah, we get that. Oh. what a performance. I'll do as many versions of one song for 21 Pilots because they're all so incredibly different. I've done the studio with the music video. I did another live one a little bit ago, and now this one, all of Drag Path. Wow, so fun. And so fun to learn from and just be inspired by and experiment with my own voice too. One of the reasons I love 21 Pilots is because Tyler inspires me to try new things with my voice all the time. It's not about sounding good. It's not about sounding like Tyler. It's about learning. And I learn from him on a technique level, but I also learn from him on a connection level and like really thinking about what I'm doing with my voice as a means of expression, not just technical whatever. Again, if you'd like more help working with your own voice, click that link below in the pinned comment or video description. And here is the last live analysis I did of Drag Path, in case you missed it.